I mean, that's just my advice to say, just expose yourself to it, attend a couple classes, something like this, to get a feel for it, to see, is that something that I really, think I want to get involved with?
Yeah, because a lot of places do allow you to audit in class. Like if they teach classes, they're all over the place. There's some that are very reputable. Creative Studios, Your Acts, Nick Conti's Professional Acting Studio. I think Dwayne Boyd teaches a class here. I think he told me Monday through Saturday almost. So they allow you to audit like a class for free to kind of see what they do in the classes. I'm just really big on knowing what you do. I don't like when people get into it and water down the crap. It's like playing basketball. They're going to make you go to practice and train and do all these things. You're not going to just show up and, get to play. So I don't like it when people, I'm natural, I'm just going to go. And then they're out and it waters it down. We've heard from a lot of casting agents coming out of LA that Atlanta actors don't take it seriously. They just show up. They don't take a class. They don't know how to act. They don't have set etiquette, all those kind of things. So they're often giving parts that we could earn if given the opportunity to LA actresses and actors because they don't think we take it seriously. Some of us do. We're going to classes. We're hustling. That song, Hustle Real Hard, is our theme song. And it's not like a pretend hustle. So I encourage you, if you're serious about it, be serious about it, people with anything else. If you want to teach, you just don't walk in the classroom and start teaching. They make you take some tests or take a class or something. So you have to be serious about your craft because it is a serious art form, just like art or dance or whatever.
And volunteer to be an extra. I know for me, that's how I started off. I did it as a child in theater, but as far as getting into film and TV, I hadn't had any experience in that. And so I started off being an extra just to experience being on a set, to see what it's like to be on a set all day, 12, 13, 14 hours. So, to see what it's really like, not just the fluff and what you see on TV.
I ain't do none of that. I had no idea I wanted to act. I just knew I paid attention to people, and I like to mimic them. What I would say, regardless of whether you take a class, regardless of whether you don't, if you audit a class, if you go and become an extra, that's wonderful. Before you set your mind to it, know who you are. This industry has the potential to be very pretentious. It has the potential to be very stereotypical. So, especially speaking as a Black woman actress, there are roles that we are automatically kind of screwed to, but just know what you are and are not willing to do for those roles. There are couch casting calls, thank God I ain't
Never been there.
Know the roles. I have a no nudity clause. I'm not going to show my butt. I have a 12-year-old that eventually is going to have to get some answers from me as to why mommy's naked on the television, okay? And just having that knowledge of who you are before you set your mind to doing this can change you. This can make you change for the better, for the worse. It brings out the innermost parts of you if you let it. So just know what those are and be aware of those parameters.
Agreed.
Check.
Let's get one last question and then we'll wrap it up. We can still ask questions one-on-one, but we'll just wrap up the group questions. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question and a comment. First, Slice, do you have any acting that you started acting? Because you did a great job.
Thank you.
Let's make it big.
It's already big. As they say, I haven't trained, but I do believe that you should train. And what I did was surround myself around some really great actors.
I could see that. I said, now, I don't think you've been flat, but you did a good job.
I told them what to do.
You did a great job. All of you did a great job.
Thank you very much.
I was very impressed with it. I'm glad to see what you all came to for.
Thank you.
And it's not to take away natural intuition. Seeing what Demetria was saying. Some of you just might just have it. Have a gift.
But to answer your question, no formal training, but I consider myself a filmmaker, so I like to participate in every aspect of it. It's not just that. You'll see me do when I'm on set. I grab some lights, I do this, I'm messing with the sound, I'm making sure everybody eat, calling shots. So I fell into a zone of filmmaking that I kind of love, and I
take one more question and then.
Who you asking? Oh,
Which
gosh,
route?
okay, I'm gonna give you a little bit of perspective,
Right,
perspective,
that's it.
and then she teaches class, so I'm gonna let her kind of take it from there. Make sure your kid is ready for no.
Exactly.
This is painful.
Okay, as an adult, I have had my feelings hurt. Okay, but you have to understand you're not gonna get all of them. It doesn't mean you're not a good person. It doesn't mean that you're not talented. It's just not for you. And as a child, that mentality may not necessarily be there. So make sure that the way they handle no with you, magnify it by 50 with an audition. So just make sure that they're really prepared and that their self-esteem is really in line and that they really know what they're getting themselves into as far as this. And you have to be the ground for that. Right, they're really going to feed heavily off of what you are doing and how you are feeling. If you go in there, well, my baby should be okay,
Exactly.
No tiaras and tutus.
yes, it's not going to help. So just really being a nice foundation for them with this, really being supportive, really being uplifting, being honest, and making sure that they're ready for no.
And don't try to like live your life through your
Right.
child. Like
I
maybe
would-
your child doesn't want to act.
Yeah. I have
That's not
both
you.
of my- Yeah.
I work on sets and I'm like, okay, your child is acting, not you.
Right.
And why are you getting your hair and makeup done?
You need to be upset. Both of my children were in the business. They both were with my agency. My daughter has done commercials and everything, and neither one of them are in it anymore. And that's by choice. So when my 5-year-old daughter says, Mommy, I do not want to go anymore, guess what? That's it. And so I say that to say, you have to know your child, you have to know yourself. I wasn't doing this for me, for money for me or anything. I told them at any point you don't want to do this anymore, that's it. And remember that just because your child might be sassy and outgoing and fun-loving and have this big personality and the best cheerleader on the cheerleading squad, doesn't mean that when they get in front of the camera or when they go into that room in front of the casting director without you, that they're going to be the same way. My daughter is the most outgoing, fun-loving person in the house. As soon as I am away from her and she walks into that room, she can't talk and she wells up crying and she becomes a totally different person. And we learned that about her. And you want it to be enjoyable. And I decided at the point where this becomes not enjoyable for you, then it's no more. We're not going to do it anymore.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
my 12-year-old, picture it, Sicily, 1947.
Sophia.
Right.
We're out on tour. My son was 8, 9 at the time, and he was playing my son in the play. Did great. Not a problem. We went on hiatus. He had to come back to reality. He's sitting in class, and the teacher is talking to him, asking him why he has not been turning in his homework. For the first time in the entire week, he looks at her and he says, Lady, I'm going back on tour. I don't really need to do this.
Wow. Exactly.
He's done.
Right.
And it's not by choice.
Right.
So just really making sure,
Parents.
all of that is very important.
So, but I do workshops for parents who want to get their kids in the biz. I was a child actor. My kids were actors, and I'm an adult in the business. So I do know about the ins and outs of that. So I'll let you know.
Get our numbers so she gets ready.
Exactly.
Let's give a big round of applause for Pastor.
And thank you guys for coming out and thank you very much.